what you'll be doing, and when you're going to do it. Let's go ahead and look at tonight's lesson so we can understand the method behind why we need to do this. So several years ago, Scott Adams, and if you guys don't know who Scott Adams is, he's actually the cartoonist. He draws and he writes Dilbert. So Scott Adams wrote that if you asked him what he was going to be doing at 6:20 a.m. every Saturday morning, or Saturday morning, September 5th, 2020, he's going to tell you that he's going to be at his desk working on a Dilbert cartoon that he had started earlier in the week. What he did was he strategically put his systems in specific time slots every day to ensure that he is always moving forward on something. And we need to be doing the same thing. You need to precisely know, which means you have to decide when you're going to implement your daily habits. Now, by putting your daily habits into a calendar, we talked about this yesterday, it really minimizes the decision-making process. And if you know where you're going to be and what you're going to be doing, you don't even have to think about it. And we kind of, like I said, touched on it yesterday, but our decision-making power and our willpower is limited. The more we have to choose between things, the more depleted our willpower becomes. Now, for those of us women who love to go inside of our closets that have thousands upon thousands of things in there, I'm one of them. If you have to decide what you're going to wear that day, you're wasting a decision. So try to do it the night before. Put that on your planner. But our willpower is very limited. So try to limit the things that you have to choose from, because you don't want your power to be limited. By taking away the choice of what, taking away the choice of when you perform things, when you perform your habits, when you're going to make things happen, you begin to make it automatic, and that's what keeps you on track. That's the point that we need to get to. So planning out your habits and your systems are going to ensure that you reach your goals little by little every day. Think of it almost like gravity is kind of like a law. So when something goes up, it must come down. It's the same thing of planning for goals. Plan your habits, your systems, and your rewards into some type of planning system, whether it's on your phone, whether it's in a planner, whether it's an electronic planner, however it is that you do it, it will make you have forward momentum. And you guys know I always talk about the big mo. Big momentum is the space that we want to be in when it comes to our goals, because momentum keeps propelling you forward. Think of it like a snowball, right? If you have this little tiny snowball, and if you put it down in the snow and you just keep rolling it, eventually it gets bigger and you can make a snowman, right? For those of us who live up north, I'm from Pittsburgh, so we used to make snowmen when we were kids. But think of your goals the same way. You want to have it starts off as a small little something, and you just keep rolling it until it gets bigger. And it's a law. It's like gravity. It's very simple, it's very powerful, and it's always profound because it always works. It always works. So with that being said, I know you guys are itching for what the action steps are for today's lesson. So first, you want to take out your calendar, take out the paper where you wrote down your habits for your system. And now what we're going to do is we're going to plug our habits into the days on our calendar. So for those of us who are on a weight loss journey, when are we going to exercise every day? For me, it's between 8 and 9. It's plugged into my calendar. As soon as I do it, cross it right off, right? For those of us who are trying to get into mindfulness, when are we going to schedule our meditation for the day, right? When is that time? Calendar it. Also, for those of us who are interested in growing our social network, when are we calling our friends? When are we doing our social media? When are we networking, right? calendar it. Those people who are interested in writing books, what time are you writing your 500 words a day? Right? Are you going to do it at 6:30 in the morning right after you wake up? Or is it going to be a 10 o'clock at night thing right before you go to bed? You are going to be amazed at what happens when you start planning your days, and suddenly all the choices that you have just have been taken away. You're going to find how much happier and more productive your life is going to be. Just take away the challenges. It's so funny because remember when we were little kids, and now that we're adults, we always say, oh, we could just go back to the time. Those days were so simple. A lot of the reasons why days were so simple were because we didn't make a lot of decisions for ourselves. Our parents were usually the ones making those decisions. So now we just want to try to find a way to find a balance to get back to that point to where we are limiting the work, the mental work that we put our brain through. When you do it this way and you take away the choice, you write it down, you actually begin to focus on what matters at that time. So it's really important. So now it's our time. So tonight I want you guys to fill in your calendar with your habits and don't cheat. Just can't cheat. But until then, guys, go ahead and let's share some of our habits and what we're working on. And if you haven't shared yesterday about your rewards, maybe you thought about some rewards, or maybe you even thought about some systems that you wanted to plan. So tomorrow, we are going to be concluding our goal setting course, but there's one last important step that I have to give you guys to kind of tie up all this information that we've been learning over the last couple of days. And this last step is really what's going to draw everything together. And this last step is something that you're going to want to plan for every week. This is something that you got to do. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the slide so that way we can go ahead and jump into the comments. 1 second. All right. Jump into the comments here, guys. Let's see. So Rhonda says she's been trying to reward healthy, keep her reward healthy because she loves chocolate, not dark chocolate, but milk chocolate. Rhonda, I'm right there with you. You know, I can do dark chocolate, but I'm a milk chocolate lover. So yeah, keep it healthy. As a matter of fact, since I've been implementing my health, I wouldn't say health kick, since I've been watching what I eat and drinking water, I can say that my sugar cravings have gone down. So maybe we can talk a little bit offline and I can tell you some of the things that I've been doing to kick that. Diana says she needs to be more specific with your time. Yeah, we got to be more specific with our time. We can't let our time get away from us. Diana says she's from Chicago and now lives in Wisconsin, so there's lots of snow. Absolutely. I've never been to Wisconsin, and when I did go to Chicago, it was in the summertime, and it was the fall. It was maybe like October, and it was still kind of warm. I'm excited to see how things fall into place and how much productivity I have. I think you're going to have lots of productivity. I'm really interested to see and to hear about you guys' results. Even if during this this mini course, you're just working on one goal to apply this information. Net and I was just talking that really we need to be doing goal reviews every quarter. So this might be something that we can bring back every quarter, so that way we can focus on new things as we grow. You know, as you grow, your goals shouldn't stay the same. As you complete things, you should be moving on to the next thing. This is so encouraging. Thanks, Diana. Start journaling, start a day journaling and prayer. Absolutely, Rhonda, if that works for you. It's a good way to get your thoughts out, a good way to practice mental release, which is a good thing. And Rhonda said her reward is chocolate. Chocolate or a YouTube video. I say both, why not? But I'm a bad influence. So. And Rhonda says Wisconsin has more snow than Chicago. Yeah. Diana said, that's really cool. Love that goal review each quarter. Yeah, we should definitely be having goal reviews each quarter. That is something that we do in the business world. At my job, we're required to do business plans every 3 months because our goals change. And not only do goals change, but your tactics change, your strategies change, but also, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a SWOT analysis, which stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So when you're thinking about your business goals, you should be thinking about your strengths and your weaknesses. Your strengths and your weaknesses are your internal strengths and weaknesses, things that are within your control. The O and the T stands for opportunities and threats. Those are things that are on the external, right? Things on the outside. So things that could be happening in politics, things that could be happening with the weather, things that could be happening in our government, things that could be happening with our laws, right? Those are things that can come into your business. They could either help or they can hurt. And so when you do your plans, you need to definitely have a SWOT analysis and understand what's happening with you internally, and you need to be able to understand what's happening externally, and so you can prepare for that. That's what a lot of successful people do. And to be honest, that's what makes businesses sustainable, right? When we talk about sustaining a business, it's being able to collaborate the internal with the external and capitalize off of what's happening, capitalize and being able to use your strengths, for whatever's happening externally. Right? So you want to be able to do that. So that's why we suggest doing, redoing business reviews at least 4 times a year, because everything's always changing. So yes, absolutely, Diana. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Yes, please share your wins. Definitely. Definitely share your wins. I want to hear. I'm having some wins this week. Especially with my goal, I dropped a considerable amount of pounds this week, so I'm really happy. And you know, the funny thing about it is when you start to measure your goals, it actually propels you, or it gives you encouragement. I don't like the word motivation. I don't. I think motivation is a scam, to be honest with you. I try not to use that word, but I'm actually even more encouraged to work out and to eat better because I'm starting to see the results. So that's another reason why it's good to follow some goal setting table for you. So that way you can understand what it is that you're working on and what measurement you're actually looking for. For me, as far as weight loss is concerned, it's easy to measure, right? Either inches or it's on the scale. So it's easy for me, but how are you measuring your success? That's important. And that's another reason why habits, having daily habits, because you can measure when you don't do something. You can measure when you miss a habit. For example, this week, since we've been doing the challenge, I am tasked with doing 1 blog post every week on my blog site. This week, I'm doing the challenge. So guess what? I didn't do a blog post this week. I know I didn't do a blog post this week. So guess what? Next week, I have scheduled 2 blog posts, right? I have the one for next week and I have the one that I missed. So now I'm able to measure what I'm missing. You want to be able to measure yourself. Yes, we're all excited to hear everybody's wins. And Rhonda says she used to schedule her day out before she had twins. But I just recently gone back to schedule so I can achieve my goals. Absolutely. To have a schedule, it just makes it easier. The less you have to think about something. It's so funny. There was this guy I was he was trying to date me, maybe like 2 years ago, but he kind of got a little frustrated with me because every time he asked me out, I said, I don't know if I could answer that question because I have to check my planner. Like, I literally let my planner do the talking as to when I did something. And, you know, it sounds a little structured. It sounds a little too structured, but my goals were very important to me, you know, and my time is very important to me. And, you know, he had to know that. So, so yeah, measure your goals and what is missing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. We have something in the chat. Let me go and check that out. Oh, hey, Edwina, I didn't even realize you were there. Rewards, a nice treat to a favorite item from my save until later list on Amazon. Oh, yes, Amazon. That is a great reward system, guys. If you guys haven't thought about that, thanks, Edwina. I don't know, you know, put an A down in the chat if you guys love Amazon, especially if you love the 2-day Amazon Prime. That is a very nice reward. I think I might add that to my list. I never even thought about that. Absolutely. Thank you, Edwina. Didn't even know you were here. Thanks for watching. So yes, guys, that's it. Planning our days. Does anybody have a planner? And before we go, I do want to share with you let me see if I can pull it up, the resource that I had for you yesterday that I forgot. Let's see. I think I accidentally closed out of it. Yeah, guys, I accidentally closed out of it, but I know I put a link in the description box yesterday, the bottom of the chat. Yes, people love Amazon. Absolutely, Diana. Rhonda says, you have to check your planner for a date. Yup. I sure did. My goals were more important than dating, hence why I'm still single. So don't follow me for dating advice, by the way. But yeah, definitely, I had to check my planner. You need to get a planner, Diana. We can talk a little bit offline because I know a lot about the planner systems out there, and you can definitely get a really good one. You can either do digital or you can do paper, or you can use the one that's on your computer, like Outlook. All right, but definitely have something to manage your time. And I do suggest that if you guys are going into coaching, to subscribe to a service like a Calendly, or I want to say, I think Google has a calendar that's similar to Calendly now. They've been making a lot of updates to Google, so check that out. So that way you can pick when your office hours are going to be. I highly suggest that. And your office hours are basically, if you have a business or even if you have a job, those are designated times where you are just sitting at your desk. You can take phone calls, you can do, you know, any type of work that you're interested in doing. So definitely think about that. That's put you first. You're not wrong. Thanks, Rhonda. So yes, my friends, that's it. That's it for tonight. Unless you guys have anything else you want to discuss about planning and planning systems, what I'll do is I'll take a picture of some of the planners that I have used in the past, some of the ones that work really good. And what I'll do is I'll, with Net's approval, of course, I'll go ahead and I'll post those in the group. So that way you guys can get an idea, or maybe what I'll do is post some YouTube videos of the different planning systems that are out there. You guys can watch and see for yourself. I think that'll be better. So, okay, thanks, Nat. She said I can post in the group. Awesome. So I'll go ahead and post some planning systems in the group for you guys. And then if you guys do have any questions or if you think about anything, feel free to come back around and tag me in a post or inbox me. Don't think that